It is a strange truth. The more you chase approval, the further you drift from peace. The harder you try to please the world, the more it turns its back. You exhaust yourself trying to shine in the eyes of others, yet your light only grows dimmer. Why? Because energy follows attention and you have given yours away. A man cannot build his fortune while watering another man's field. Every time you compare yourself, justify yourself, or seek validation, you are pouring the power of your mind into someone else's cup, and still you wonder why you feel empty. But there is another way. When you turn your gaze inward, when you begin to master your thoughts, your emotions, your direction, the world begins to bend toward you. What you once chased begins to seek you, for the universe rewards the man who stands firm in himself. Focus on yourself, not from selfishness, but from sacred responsibility. Shift your energy from seeking to creating, from noise to silence, from confusion to command, and then you will discover that the world changes the moment you do. In a few moments, I will teach you how to focus on yourself and shift your energy. 1. The law of inner direction. There comes a time in every life when one must turn inward and reclaim command of the mind. The world does not shape your destiny, your thoughts do. Whatever you permit to rule within will soon rule without. Whatever you continually hold in your mind, you call forth into your world. Focus, therefore, is not a luxury. It is the steering wheel of your soul. The person who learns to guide attention learns to guide life. For energy follows thought just as surely as the rivers follow gravity. When your attention is scattered, your strength is wasted. When it is fixed on a single worthy aim, every cell of your being rallies to fulfill it. Thus, the first law of progress is self-direction. No one may live your life for you. No one may think your thoughts. The Creator gave each person the sacred power to choose what to dwell upon, and this choice determines every joy or sorrow to come. If you dwell upon weakness, weakness answers. If you dwell upon strength, strength awakens. If you dwell upon confusion, you invite more confusion. But if you dwell upon purpose, purpose gathers around you like an army awaiting command. Train your mind each morning as a soldier trains for battle. Choose one clear idea and hold it. Say to yourself, today I shall rule my own thoughts. I shall not lend my energy to fear, complaint, or envy. This simple discipline, practiced daily, builds a fortress no adversity can invade. Many have wasted years seeking approval from others, measuring worth by the world's applause. But those who focus on themselves in the right spirit, not with vanity but with vision, discover a richer reward. They cease to chase and begin to attract. The world bends to the will that stands firm. Do not wait for the wind to change. Adjust your own sails. The person who learns to govern self will one day govern circumstance. The secret is not to master the world, but to master your attention within it. Thus, when distractions whisper and discouragements arise, withdraw inward for a moment of calm command. Say within yourself, I am the keeper of my mind, the guardian of my energy, the captain of my fate. Hold that thought until it becomes your natural habit. For habit, when fixed in the right direction, becomes destiny. Focus on yourself, not to escape life, but to shape it. Every great change begins when a person decides to rule the kingdom of thought, and from that kingdom flows all power, peace, and progress. 2. Shifting the current of your energy. Every human life is a current of energy moving through unseen channels of thought and feeling. Some allow this current to drift through fear, anger, and complaint until their strength is spent. Others learn to turn the flow upward toward faith, gratitude, and creative effort, and thus they grow in vitality, confidence, and peace. You are the engineer of this invisible current. You cannot see it, but you can feel it in the quiet of your own heart. Whenever you think kindly, speak truthfully, or act with purpose, the current of life within you brightens and expands. Whenever you brood, doubt, or resent, the current grows heavy and sluggish. To shift your energy is to shift your destiny. Begin with a simple rule. Think as you would if all things were possible. When fear arises, replace it with a vision of faith. When fatigue overtakes you, remember that enthusiasm is the spark that renews strength. The mind that expects goodness will find it waiting at every turn. Your energy responds to the company you keep within your thoughts. No outer event has power to defeat a person who has mastered the inner response. Even a storm yields to one who remains calm at the helm. The law is exact. Whatever vibration you send out returns multiplied. Send doubt, and doubt returns. Send courage, and courage walks beside you. Send gratitude, and the world rushes to supply more reasons for thankfulness. Learn to pause before you speak, breathe before you decide, and think before you judge. In that pause lies power. The mind that reacts is a servant. The mind that reflects is a master. When you feel your energy sinking, lift it through movement, through service, through thought directed to some higher aim. Action clears the fog of emotion. Give more than you are asked. Smile when there is no reason, and the current will rise again. Remember, the energy you hold in secret determines the life you live in public. There is no hidden thought that does not one day appear in form. Keep your inner lamp trimmed and burning. Shift your energy, and the world will shift with you. For the great truth stands eternal. No circumstance is greater than the power that moves within you. 3. The discipline of calm power. There is a strength that does not shout, a power that does not tremble. It is the calm of one who governs himself. The world honors those who appear bold, but it quietly yields to those who are calm. The storm cannot move the mountain, and neither can confusion move the mind that stands steady in its purpose. Calmness is not weakness. It is controlled energy. It is the mastery of emotion, the quiet assurance that nothing outside you can disturb what lives within you unless you permit it. To remain calm in the face of challenge is to prove that you have learned the first secret of power, control of self. When others argue, be silent and still. When others panic, breathe and think. The mind that remains still when all around is noise will always see more clearly. In the stillness, truth speaks. In the quiet, wisdom appears. Calm power does not rush. It observes, reasons, and acts at the proper moment. Every great leader has learned that force without balance destroys itself, but calm, directed strength accomplishes what anger and haste never can. Practice this discipline daily. Begin each morning with a few moments of silence. Picture yourself as a lake undisturbed, reflecting the light above it. Throughout the day, whenever the winds of irritation rise, return to that image. Say within yourself, I am calm, I am in control, I choose my response. Repeat this until it becomes habit, until no circumstance can steal your peace. The habit of calmness invites higher thought. A disturbed mind cannot hear inspiration, just as muddy water cannot reflect the sky. But a calm mind becomes a mirror of divine intelligence. It receives ideas, solutions, and strength from unseen sources. Do not confuse calm with indifference. Indifference feels nothing. Calm feels deeply but governs its feelings. It is the harmony of the heart and the discipline of the will. When you cultivate calm power, you cease to be tossed by events. You direct them. Life ceases to be a battle and becomes a command. You move with purpose, speak with clarity, and act with assurance. Let this truth guide you. The person who can control himself can control any situation. Therefore, strive not to master others, but to master your own reactions. Calmness is the armor of wisdom and the birthplace of true strength. Hold to it until it becomes your natural state, and you will find that peace is not the absence of storms, but the mastery of them. 4. The silent law of growth. Growth never shouts. It works in silence, beneath the surface, out of sight, until the moment of harvest arrives. The same law that ripens the seed in the earth works also in the heart of man. You cannot force growth, but you can prepare the ground. Every thought you hold with feeling is a seed. Every act repeated becomes a root. What you feed and water through attention grows strong. What you neglect withers away. Therefore, tend the garden of your mind as you would tend a field of golden grain. Do not be impatient with slow progress. Nature takes her time, yet she never fails. The oak does not appear in a day, nor does strength of character. Greatness grows quietly, nourished by faith, discipline, and persistence. The wise do not measure progress by the moment. They look upon every effort, every trial, as part of a perfect design. When difficulties arise, they know the soil is being broken for new growth. You cannot harvest peace while planting discord, nor can you reap joy from seeds of complaint. Every harvest answers the seed that was sown. So plant thoughts of courage, gratitude, and patience, and your days will yield their fruit in abundance. The law of growth demands constancy. A single act does little. A repeated act becomes power. Every day you choose your direction upward or downward. constructive or wasteful. Choose well and let repetition make it your nature. In your quiet hours, affirm your faith in the unseen process. Say to yourself, though I see no results today, I know that life is working for me, not against me. Such faith strengthens the roots of your character and hastens the day of visible reward. Growth requires trust in time. The impatient uproot their own progress by doubting the soil that sustains them. The steadfast remain planted, and in due season their strength becomes evident to all. Let your growth be inward first, and the outer will follow. The person who builds patience, gratitude, and courage within will soon see their reflection in the world around him. Remember always, what you become in silence determines what you achieve in public. Growth begins unseen, but its fruits endure forever. 5. The habit of right thinking. Every action begins in thought. Every victory or defeat is first won or lost in the mind. Therefore, right thinking is the foundation of every worthy life. To think clearly, to reason justly, to believe firmly, these are the habits that shape destiny. You are not what the world calls you. You are what you continually think of yourself. The mind is the sculptor and thought is its chisel. What you allow to remain in your mind becomes the image you live by. Guard it well. The law of right thinking is simple. Think only on those things you wish to see made real. Thought is creative. It builds, molds, and multiplies according to its kind. No one can plant seeds of doubt and harvest confidence, nor can one sow fear and expect peace. The first step toward right thinking is to separate truth from opinion. Many confuse emotion for reason, hearsay for fact, and imagination for truth. The wise do not rush to judgment. They question, examine, and decide only after reflection. Each day, take inventory of your thoughts as a merchant takes account of his goods. Ask yourself, which of these thoughts serve me and which rob me of my strength? Keep only those that uplift and guide you toward your purpose. Right thinking demands discipline. It means refusing to dwell on complaint, resisting the pull of gossip, and rejecting every idea that weakens your spirit. It is not enough to wish for better thoughts. You must choose them one by one until they form a new habit. The mind will obey its master. If you direct it firmly toward truth, it will learn to seek truth in all things. When you fill it with belief, courage, and hope, it will create the conditions that reflect those virtues. Right thinking purifies action. It gives clarity to speech and confidence to the heart. When the mind is right, life aligns itself accordingly. Let this be your rule. Before you act, think rightly. Before you speak, think kindly. Before you judge, think fairly. For every thought sets in motion a cause, and every cause returns to its source. He who learns to think rightly has learned to live rightly. 6th, the power of faith in action. Faith is the invisible bridge between desire and fulfillment. It is the unseen hand that lifts a person when reason falters. When faith is alive, mountains become paths. When it dies, even the plain road seems steep. Faith begins as a seed, a simple belief that what you hope for can be. When nourished by thought and action, it becomes a force that commands events. But faith without action is a dream without motion. You must walk toward that which you believe. To possess faith is to speak victory in the face of doubt. It is to act as though success were certain while others tremble with uncertainty. The world often calls this madness, yet it is the very madness that has changed the course of history. Faith is not blind. It is guided sight. It sees beyond the appearance of failure to the purpose within it. It understands that every setback conceals a lesson and that every delay hides a blessing in disguise. You strengthen faith by use as a muscle grows through work. Each time you face a difficulty and choose to believe, faith deepens its roots. Each time you act upon your conviction, it becomes part of your nature. The doubter waits for proof, the believer creates it. Life bends toward the will that dares to trust. The one who believes in his power to overcome already stands halfway to victory. Begin now to affirm your faith. Say to yourself each morning, I trust the wisdom that guides me. I move forward with courage. I believe that all things are working for my good. Let these words become your shield and your song. Faith and fear cannot dwell together. One must leave when the other enters. Therefore, guard your mind from fear as you would guard your home from thieves. Let no negative thought take root, for it will steal your peace and weaken your strength. When faith rules the heart, every effort gains new power. Obstacles become stepping stones, and disappointments become hidden blessings. Act always in the light of faith, and you will find that the path before you rises to meet your steps. Faith is not a thing you wait for, it is a thing you live. And the one who lives by faith lives already in victory. 7. The art of self-discipline. No power is greater than the power to rule oneself. The person who conquers cities has strength, but the person who conquers his own impulses has wisdom. Self-discipline is the guardian of success, the silent force that turns intention into reality. Without discipline, desire becomes drift. With discipline, even small beginnings lead to mighty ends. Every great achievement is born of restraint, the decision to do what must be done, not what is easy. Discipline begins in the mind. It is the habit of commanding thought, word, and action according to a chosen purpose. The undisciplined mind runs wherever emotion leads. The disciplined mind follows the direction of reason and will. Each morning, set your course. Say to yourself, "Today I shall master myself. My thoughts shall obey my purpose. My actions shall serve my vision." Then, act upon that command as a soldier obeys his captain. Discipline means keeping promises made to oneself. It is doing what you said you would do, even when the mood is changed. It means finishing what you begin, refusing to quit when effort grows heavy. Every act of discipline strengthens the will, just as every surrender weakens it. Guard your tongue, for words once spoken cannot be recalled. Guard your habits, for they become your destiny. Guard your thoughts, for they shape every habit. When anger rises, remember that silence is strength. When temptation whispers, recall that momentary pleasure often leads to lasting regret. When laziness urges delay, act at once and you will break its hold. Self-discipline is not denial, it is direction. It gives shape to power, order to energy, and peace to the mind. Without it, even talent is wasted. With it, even the ordinary become extraordinary. The disciplined person is free. He is not bound by moods, opinions, or circumstance. He rules himself, and therefore he rules his world. Practice self-discipline until it becomes delight, for the one who governs himself is already master of fate. 8. The law of persistent effort. There is a point at which every dream meets resistance. Many turn back at that point, believing failure has won. Yet those who press forward discover that persistence is the hidden path to victory. Persistence is steady effort guided by faith. It is the refusal to surrender when progress seems slow. The world yields not to brilliance alone, but to endurance to the one who will not quit. Every worthwhile goal tests its seeker. The test is simple. How much do you want it? Life asks this question through obstacles, delays, and doubts. The weak give excuses, the strong give more effort. When the way seems dark, move one step. When the step feels heavy, take another. Each small advance, though unseen, breaks the resistance of circumstance. Success rarely comes in a rush. It comes in layers, built by persistence. There is power in repeated action. Just as water wears down stone, consistent effort conquers opposition. One moment of courage repeated 1,000 times builds the tower of triumph. Remember this law. No labor done in faith is ever lost. Every seed planted in persistence will bloom in its season. The harvest belongs not to the quick, but to the constant. When discouragement visits, speak firmly within. I shall not stop, I shall not retreat. My cause is just, my purpose clear, and my strength renewed. Say it with conviction, and you will feel the fire rise again. Persistence is not blind struggle. It is intelligent repetition guided by purpose. Learn from each attempt, adjust your course, and press on. The one who learns and endures cannot be defeated. The world honors the finisher. History remembers not those who started, but those who stood until the end. Let your effort be like the tide, quiet, patient, unending, for the tide always returns, and it always shapes the shore. 9. The hidden strength of adversity. There is a law written deep within the structure of life. Every challenge conceals a blessing. Every setback carries within it the seed of a greater advancement. To the ordinary eye, adversity appears as punishment. To the wise, it is preparation. Adversity is the sculptor of character. It sharpens faith, deepens patience, and teaches the soul to stand upon its own strength. Without it, no one would ever know the measure of his own power. Ease teaches little, but struggle teaches all. Consider how the strongest trees grow upon the windiest hills. They dig their roots deeper, because the wind demands it. So it is with man. The storms of life drive the roots of courage deeper into the soil of the soul. Every time you endure hardship with dignity, you grow stronger than before. There are two ways to meet adversity. One is to complain and shrink from it. The other is to accept it as a messenger of growth. Those who resist become bitter, while those who learn become wise. The difference lies not in what happens, but in how it is received. The wise never ask, "Why has this happened to me?" They ask instead, "What is this trying to teach me?" For within that question lies the key to transformation. Every difficulty, no matter how heavy, comes bearing a lesson that once learned will never need to be repeated. When disappointment strikes, hold your peace. Do not curse the day or blame others. Stand still for a moment and look within. Somewhere beneath the pain, there is a lesson waiting to be found. Perhaps it is patience, perhaps forgiveness, perhaps faith. Whatever it is, it will serve you more than any comfort could. Many of the world's greatest achievements were born in the shadow of failure. Men and women who changed the course of history often began as those who were rejected, defeated, and forgotten. Yet from those ashes rose determination, vision, and strength. Adversity did not destroy them, it revealed them. One man loses his fortune and gains his wisdom. Another loses his health and finds his purpose. Another is cast aside and learns to walk by faith instead of sight. Every apparent loss hides a hidden gift, but only those who look for the seed of benefit will find it. When you meet with difficulty, remind yourself that nature never wastes pain. The Creator uses struggle to polish the soul, as the jeweler uses friction to polish a gem. If life has given you a hard experience, it is because you are being shaped for something greater than ease could ever prepare you for. Adversity teaches humility. It reminds man that power without grace is arrogance, and success without gratitude is emptiness. It burns away vanity and reveals what is real. Many who once boasted of strength learned true power only after they were broken. To transform into advantage, hold to 3 rules. First, never allow self-pity to take root. It drains strength and blinds the eyes to opportunity. Second, look immediately for the lesson. Ask, what good can come from this? Third, act upon that good as soon as it is found. Do not dwell upon what is lost. Begin to build with what remains. It may take time to see the purpose behind your struggle, yet trust this. Nothing is wasted in the hands of one who keeps faith. Every sorrow is shaping you for joy, every failure for victory, every burden for strength. The person who learns to convert every obstacle into energy becomes unstoppable. He is like a river that finds new paths when blocked by rock. Adversity only teaches him to flow with greater power. So when trials come, lift your head and give thanks. Say within yourself, "This too is working for my good. I may not see it now, but I shall see it in time." Such an attitude transforms pain into power and failure into fortune. Remember always, gold is tested by fire and character is tested by adversity. When you endure, you rise refined, radiant, and renewed. The day will come when you will look back and bless the very struggles that once made you weep, for they will have led you to a strength you did not know you possessed. And from that strength will come peace, mastery, and wisdom, the true rewards of life's hardest lessons. 10. The miracle of a positive mental attitude. There is no greater difference between people than the difference between those who maintain a positive mental attitude and those who do not. One sees opportunity in every problem. The other sees a problem in every opportunity. One moves forward with hope. The other stands still in fear. The difference between them is not fortune or fate. It is thought. There are 2 ways to meet adversity. One is to complain and shrink from it. The other is to accept it as a messenger of growth. Those who resist become bitter, while those who learn become wise. The difference lies not in what happens, but in how it is received. The wise never ask, "Why has this happened to me?" They ask instead, "What is this trying to teach me?" For within that question lies the key to transformation. Every difficulty, no matter how heavy, comes bearing a lesson that once learned will never need to be repeated. When disappointment strikes, hold your peace. Do not curse the day or blame others. Stand still for a moment and look within. Somewhere beneath the pain, there is a lesson waiting to be found. Perhaps it is patience, perhaps forgiveness, perhaps faith. Whatever,